welcome back to 843 TV. Now we're with someone who really doesn't need an introduction, Town Manager Steve Riley. Steve, good to see you as always.
Thank you.
And we were talking, I was trying to figure out how long you've been with the town, and you tell me 28 years. That's amazing. That's quite a milestone. You're almost to your third decade. Wow.
I know.
We won't talk about that. But today,
makes me old.
We are going to talk about a new referendum, the quality of life. Let's start with breaking that down. What is that?
Well, it's a little complicated, but the notion is that we see an opportunity to have a referendum where citizens would vote to make some improvements in arts and cultural facilities and in parks and recreation facilities. And it's really about an investment in ourselves, an investment in our own community and the things that make this a better place for us.
So it's an opportunity for the public to have input and in turn you say vote on that.
Correct.
Okay.
So what we've done is at this stage is we've identified 6 broad project categories or 6 broad projects based on, we've had 3, almost 4 years of study by our venue committee that looked at arts and cultural facilities, particularly the Arts Center of Coastal Carolina and that building and its future use. Also, the Coastal Discovery Museum and some expansion plans that they would like to pursue. And then the Mitchellville project, which has just finished its master planning effort that was funded by the county. And so they've got a long range plan that they would like to pursue. Similarly, we started this summer with our update to our Parks and Recreation plan. And we had community surveys, we had a bunch of community meetings, and we have some preliminary ideas out of that. 90% of the response to the survey said they'd like to see an investment in existing facilities and improvements to existing facilities. There's also been a lot of interest lately in what might happen to that Port Royal golf track, that beautiful 100 acres right in the middle of the island. And so what we've done, looking at, well, let me also say, the opportunity is created by what we did after Hurricane Matthew. To make sure that we were well positioned for the future, we spent almost all of our reserves, and we reacted pretty well to that storm, but we also realized we don't want to be caught flat-footed at the next storm. So we put in a special override of millage on property tax millage of 5 mills for 5 years. And a mill is a unit of property tax that's basically $4 per 100. Each mill is about $4 per 100,000. That must by law expire in 5 years, and we're in year 3 right now.
Okay.
The idea is to go to the voters and say, okay, you've kind of gotten used to paying this 5. It will go away if you say no. But here's what we could do with that 5 if we kept it in place for 25 more years. We could borrow $65 million, and we could put a major investment into these facilities, into the Arts Center, into Coastal Discovery, into Mitchellville, and into 3 major parks. A major redo of Crossings, which is almost 25 years old, a major redo of Chaplin, which is almost 25 years old, and a master planning and park plans for that Port Royal tract. So those are our 6 projects, and we're saying to the voters, say no if you want, but here's a way to, without raising your taxes, to make a major investment. And we've done this studies, we've done this planning, we've created expectations, but frankly, there's no way to pay for all this stuff otherwise.
Well, it's great that the community can be involved and have a say in it and so forth. And for those folks who've been here a long time, like I've been here 25 years, I have seen the changes, and it's so great to see so many improvements happening in these last few years, especially down on the south end. So when is this referendum? What's the timeline here?
Sure. So we made the big presentation this week to council. We will come back with an ordinance that would set this all in motion at the January 21st council meeting, then we'd finish it up in February, and under the current schedule, the referendum would be May 5th, Tuesday, May 5th. And there's a number of reasons for that, but we don't have time to go into all of that, but there was some rationale to why we picked that date. And then we would not actually issue the bonds and get the money for 2 years, because we need that 5 mills to go away, and for those bonds, we borrowed money, the 5 mills for 5 years that we put on after Hurricane Matthew. We borrowed $18 million and put it in the bank for immediate emergency reserves. And so we're paying those off. And when they're paid off, then these new bonds would go into place. But in the meantime, we would design and permit and plan these facilities. So we have a big concept that says we want to renovate and improve the Arts Center and make it more usable for all the arts organizations. What exactly does that mean? We need a more detailed plan. This 2 years would give us the opportunity to engage in a public planning process and develop that plan in greater detail. We know we need to make major reinvestments in our parks, and the parks consultants have suggested, for instance, at every one of our parks, we've got a baseball field. Well, so if you got a kid in baseball, you're traveling potentially around to different parks. If you got multiple kids in a sport, you don't know how to keep up.
I live in that world and the friends that do, so I totally get that. Right.
So let's consolidate baseball in one place.
Yeah.
Let's consolidate field sports in one place. But where pickleball is something new and upcoming. People want pickleball.
It is.
Yes to all those things.
Yeah.
How does it lay out? Where does it go? How does it all look? What other changes we made to the parks? Do we add a splash pad or something to do for the little kids while they're watching, because they get bored watching Big Brother play whatever, or Big Sister? Those details we got to work out. And so this 2-year process after the referendum and before we've got all the cash to start building would be that planning process with, again, significant public engagement.
Well, as usual, you all are being very proactive, which is what we want to see as residents here, and have that voice and know that our voice counts and matters. So we really appreciate that and everything that you've been doing with the town over all these years.
Well, thank you.
Yes,
thank you.
So it's great to see you all, and we hope that you enjoyed listening today to 843 TV and learning all about the exciting things happening in our community.